Psalm 4:8. Natata simcha velibi, me'et daganam vetirosham rabu. The first form that we have today in verse 8 is actually quite interesting. What we have here is the verbal root natan. Okay, verbal root is natan. And notice this ta sufformative. So we're looking here at a call perfect 2ms. Now, one thing that's interesting is this hey at the end. And another thing that's interesting is, where did my final noon go? So notice that the final noon is very similar to a one noon in the imperfect, where it would have been right here, but instead it assimilates into this final tav. So that tav is not a dagesh lene that we often see in that 2ms sufformative of the perfect. This is actually a dagesh forte, and it represents the assimilated noon of Natan, even that third noon. So that's one piece that's interesting. Another piece that's interesting is this hey at the end. Now, if you go to Juan Morioka, this is in section 42F, you'll see his discussion here, and what he actually points out, I didn't do the statistics on this, but he points out here that this form with the final hey is actually more common with Natan than to leave the 2ms form without the final hey. He says there that it probably is a compensation of some sort because of the shortened form where the noon has assimilated. That's probably conjectural, but at the same time, here's what we get. Now that we've figured out the form 2 minutes in, we get, you have given joy in, here's the 1cs pronominal suffix, my heart. You have given joy in my heart. Next, we get the min preposition on the word time, and so we're referring to a time frame here. And notice the accent mark here is the ilui, which is conjunctive. And so we want to say the time more than the time of their grain and their wine, they abound. So here's the verbal root rabav. It's a call perfect third common plural, so we get that plural form, they abound. Well, what is the they that is abounding? It's their grain and their wine. So if we go back and look at the of here, what we get is the comparative min more than the time of their grain and their wine abounding. We can see this as a temporal of, more than the time when their grain and their wine abound.